Hi, I'm Sarah, your tutor, and today I wanted to show you what online tutoring looks like for junior high students. We'll be meeting online via Skype, and I'll be sharing my computer screen with you. This is what you're going to see. This is a OneNote document. I'll be giving a title to that document, and it will appear here. It will be your name. And this works like a file folder system. So the name of the file is going to go at the very top. I'm usually going to date those, so it's easy to find our work in chronological order. And within a file folder, we can add multiple pages. And on a page, we could either have a blank white page like this. We could change that to ruled lines, or we could have grid paper. And the grid paper is going to be very useful when you have to learn how to draw graphs. So the convenient thing about this is that I'm able to demonstrate to you how to graph by hand exactly the way you'll be doing in school. So we can label the axes, let some dots, connect the dots, and so on. I can give a title to this page. We could call this graph. And when I give a title, you'll see on the right-hand side, it pops up here. I can add a page. Maybe there's more than one thing that we do in a meeting. Maybe on the next page, you have a couple homework problems to do. If you only have a couple homework problems to do, there's other things we can do during our meeting. We can get a head start on the next concept. Maybe for homework, maybe you have some textbook problems you need to do. So you're going to need to share those problems with me. Either you're able to give me a link to your online textbook, or maybe your textbook is on Google. If it's on Google, then you'll have to share your computer screen with me once you have your textbook opened to the right page. And then once I see your textbook page, I'm able to get a screen clipping of the homework problem you want to do. So this way, all of our work is organized instead of having to flip back and forth to the textbook, and also I wouldn't even have a copy, then it's right here for us to refer to. I can use highlighters to highlight important information, and we have different colors so we can color code things. That can be helpful for some people. If there's a diagram, we may need to make markings on the diagram. So this is something you can't even do with your own physical textbook because you're not supposed to be marking in your textbook. We could also draw diagrams separately from the one that was in the textbook. Maybe we need to split that up into two separate shapes. And maybe if I've made a lot of markings already on this diagram, but we're not finished and I need to make some new markings on that same diagram, I can always go back and get another screen clipping of it. So it's really convenient to be able to just pull new images from the same problem, and it saves me time from having to draw a new diagram. It's also more accurate. Sometimes we might need a new file folder, maybe for something that we're going to refer to on a fairly regular basis. Maybe you might have some questions about how to use your calculator. You can send me a photo of your calculator, either by email or via Skype. In Skype, there's a chat where you can insert a file. Once I have a picture of your calculator, just like the homework problem, I can take a screen clipping. And now here, I can show you step by step what to do to use your calculator to solve a problem. Maybe there's more than one button that you need to press, and maybe sometimes you forget the order or you don't know what button to use. I can always color code the buttons that you want to use and use arrows for step by step what you want to press first, second, and so on to solve the problem. Or instead of having so many colors and arrows for exactly the same photo, I could just insert another photo of your calculator. And now that I have a file folder for the calculator, I can always quickly go back and find that image so that we can keep using the photo of your calculator for new problems. Sometimes your teacher will use math manipulatives in class, such as algebra tiles. Algebra tiles are used to solve problems such as 2x plus 1 equals 3. And if you've had to do this before, you know it can be quite annoying because you have to draw many diagrams because your teacher wants to see step by step what you're doing. And especially if you've made a mistake and you have to erase and redo the problem, then that can get kind of annoying. So there is an app for algebra tiles, and there's probably many apps for many other types of manipulatives as well. I can set up that algebraic problem here by just pulling in 2 rectangles to represent the 2 x's, a little square to represent the 1, and 3 ones on the opposite side of the equation. So this is 2x plus 1 equals 3. And then, remember, I can take screen clippings. So instead of us having to draw them out, I can just screen clip. So it's right here for your first step. Obviously, there are more steps to solve the problem. We'll just go back to the app, do the next step, take a new screen clipping. So it's all there for you step by step with all of the images, and we don't have to spend too much time drawing things. You can also share your screen with me and go to the same website, and you can use the app and I can watch you use it as we solve problems. So don't worry about being frantic taking notes as I'm teaching. That's the good thing about the online tutoring one-on-one. We can work at your pace. That means that, I can explain a few things. We can take a break while you copy down some notes before we go on to the next thing. Or you may choose to not take any notes at all until the very end of our lesson, and then you take your notes on your own time afterward. Just make sure that you're always taking the notes. So remember, everything is automatically saved when I make changes in this file, so there's no worry about things getting lost. If you're prone to losing papers, it's all there. It's not like a notebook. And so I'm going to be giving you a link so that you have access to this document at any time that you want. So a little bit about generally what I would be doing in a lesson. I usually teach by example. So I'll do a couple example problems completely myself, explaining my thought process, why I'm doing what I'm doing, and demonstrating problem solving skills, whatever is required for that type of problem. And then I'll have the student work through problems with me. So the student will feel like they're not really doing the problem on their own. They really are, though, because I'm going to be asking them questions and they're going to be answering them. So I'm more like a guide in that case. And then once they're comfortable with that, I would have the students do problems on their own. They could either dictate to me what to write, and this is especially helpful for anybody who has problem handwriting or maybe somebody who has dyslexia. And or not everybody likes that. Some people like to try and do the problem on their own on paper first, and then they dictate to me afterwards. So don't forget that verbally explaining to me what to do is a way to learn. It's not that they're not doing anything if they're not writing something down on paper. And the more problems we do together and we discuss our thought process, then they're gaining problem-solving skills and they'll become more confident. Their grades are going to increase and their self-esteem will increase. So that's my goal, is to help students achieve that level of confidence so that they're happy and maybe they'll even like math. So I hope to see you and to help you with all your math problems.